What's going on, everyone? So, I want to talk about Cam Johnson and Rui Hachimura, right? You can even kind of compare this to Rui Hachimura and Jeremy Grant as well, but more in particular, Cam Johnson, because I think more people understand the idea of Jeremy Grant. But I see a lot of just comments and of like, why trade Rui Hachimura to get a Cam Johnson, right? Rui Hachimura is the better player, right? Or his percentages are better, and this, that, and the other, right? I get the question of like, I'd rather have Rui. And Rui's just like a fan favorite for like, I love Rui, right? Like one of the reasons I've said I kind of want the Lakers to trade Rui is so he gets more opportunity elsewhere. Because I think he does have real starting level, impact level type potential. Right? I think in the right situation, in the right opportunity, in the right role, I think he can be a very good basketball player. He just continues to improve season after season. I'm excited for this year. If he remains on the roster, if they end up trading him, then obviously he'll go elsewhere. But a couple things that I want to kind of hit on in this video is like in the comparison, right? People are looking at it on the surface level of like, Cam Johnson isn't an upgrade over Rui Hachimura, right? A lot of people are looking at it as like, at best, it's like a neutral situation. But there's a couple factors that go into that. And the most obvious one is just fit as well as position. Rui Hachimura, his fit on this current roster is very questionable because he can't play the four, which is his natural position. He is best as a four. His physicality, his size, he's got a lower center of gravity, right? He doesn't have that lateral movement the way that threes do, those twitchier wings do. And it's kind of hindered him and made him a bit of a liability at times. Particularly, I mean, look at the Denver series. He was kind of a no-show on the offensive side, and he couldn't really guard anybody on the defense side because he doesn't have that lateral movement and quickness. And it's not a coincidence that all of his best games with the Lakers have all been when he's at the four. I mean, he set like a career high when LeBron missed the game and he was able to slide over and be the starting four. And he was just unbelievable because he gets the favorable matchups. Right now, it's not those matchups where he's being defended by the longer, lengthier, twitchier, quicker wings. He's being defended by the kind of more burly, stocky, again, similar to him style. And so he can kind of match up better. It's easier for him to beat those guys off the dribble. It's easier for him to kind of elevate, shoot over the top. So his position is best as the four for the Lakers. The issue is as long as LeBron is on this team, Rui's probably never going to get the opportunity to play the four the way that he should, right? Because LeBron at this stage of his career is best in the four spot, which is why he's played the four. Because he can kind of take plays off. He can kind of take possessions off. He can kind of take moments off in that kind of free safety scout role. And he doesn't have to overexert himself. I mean, how many times have we seen LeBron not even contest and challenge out on the perimeter? He just kind of turns, faces and gets ready for the rebound. Where if he's at the three, he has to chase those guys. And kind of a little bonus here. See a lot of people that are like, yeah, but LeBron would only have to worry about like the KD matchup or, like the high-end top tier threes. But it's not about the individual matchup. It's about the wear and tear, the responsibility that the three spot has compared to the four, and having to do that for, 35 minutes a game or whatever. Right? It's not so much about like, as long as he doesn't have to defend Kevin Durant, he's good. No, even if he's defending, Jaden McDaniels, right? Like, it's not so much that he can't match up. It's not so much that he doesn't have the athleticism, the foot speed, all those things. It's that he can't game in and game out chase those guys around. And you're responsible for essentially that entire perimeter section. And at the three spot is usually where your better shooters are, right? You look at threes and fours. They're very similar in today's NBA. The days of like, the Tim Duncans and stuff are gone, right? They're basically both just versatile hybrid wings, right? But usually your three is a better shooter than your four. So LeBron can kind of get away with allowing, an Aaron Gordon to shoot the three in the weak side corner. Aaron Gordon's like 23% on the weak side corner. But on the strong side, he's like 40% or like 38% or something like that, right? So again, usually that strong side is where the more offense is generated. So you have to work harder on the defensive side for that. And on top of that, you have your better shooters usually loaded up in that side, right? So again, it's more in that regard. But kind of shifting gears back to Rui Hachimura and like a guy like a Cam Johnson, it's more about with Cam that he gives you the size, he gives you the length, he gives you the athleticism and the versatility that Rui just doesn't give you. Cam Johnson can still slide over and play the 4 spot, but he is, again, probably best at the 3. And with his shooting, he's a 40% three-point shooter. He's a guy that can defend the best player on the other team. He's a guy that just has more versatility, in particular on the defensive side. Rui was incredible shooting the basketball this season, right? He can shoot the 3 ball. He can shoot the mid-range. The guy has shown that now he's a 3-level scorer, right? But Cam Johnson can do all those same things, but he also can defend multiple positions that Rui Hachimura cannot. So it's not just about the surface level stats. It's about the overall impact, particularly on both sides of the basketball, that Cam Johnson provides that Rui just doesn't. And it's unfortunate, right? Rui's kind of the odd man out in this situation, right? Because Jared Vanderbilt is so good defensively that he's better defensively than he is bad offensively, but also the Lakers are so limited in his skill set that he's just so much more valuable than Rui is, right? Where Rui is, when he's playing the 3, not good enough and generating enough offensively to justify the lack of defense because he's like the 5th option on the Lakers in the starting unit, right? Where if Jared Vanderbilt slot in there, all you have are offensive players. And then Anthony Davis, right, who's your one defensive player, right? Think of D'Lo, Reeves, and even LeBron. LeBron can lock down and defend on occasion, but for the most part, he's kind of just chilling out there, right? So you look at Rui, and it's like that's another defensive liability. I talked about this. Great example for those that have been subscribed long enough, which if you're not subscribe to the channel. But what was one of the things that I talked about heavily in live streams? I made a video about it, all that stuff. When the Lakers were like 9-0 or whatever with Rui Hachimura, I said in those videos and in those live streams, I do not like this starting unit. Offensively, it looks great. Problem is defensively. They can't defend anybody. They can't stop anybody. They're basically just out shooting and outscoring everyone. What happens when the offense isn't cooking? What happens when the offense starts getting stagnant and Rui isn't good offensively? Again, I talked about it on video. Fast forward to that Denver series, what happened? Right? Offense was cooking. Lakers were winning. Up 20, baby. Woo, we beaten Denver. And then all of a sudden the offense gets stagnant. All of a sudden Rui disappears and we can't stop anybody. Denver comes creeping back in. Boom, game winner, go home type thing, right? And that's the problem, right? You need that balance. And the thing that Cam Johnson provides is that balance, right? However you feel about who's the better player offensively, there's no denying Cam Johnson is the better player defensively. So even if Rui is, let's just do like a scale of 1 to 10. Let's say Rui is a 9, right? And let's say Cam Johnson is a 7. Right? Well, you flip that defensively, Rui's like a 4. But Cam Johnson is, again, like a 8 or 9, right? So then, it's like, okay, well, what's the average? Well, the average for Cam Johnson on both sides is like, an 8. But the average for Rui on both sides is like a 6. So it's just, he's better. It's better to go get the guy in Cam Johnson. Now, I don't like having to give up a first with him. The Lakers don't want to give up a first for Cam Johnson, as they shouldn't, in my opinion, right? Because Cam Johnson comes with his concerns, particularly the injury history, right? you're taking a gamble on Cam Johnson, and you're trading more likely than not trading a guy that is at least on par offensively. Again, defensively is better, but also the Brooklyn Nets have a plethora of the twitchier threes. They don't have a guy like a Rui. Rui, like their closest would be Ben Simmons, but he's nowhere near the offensive player that Rui is. And Rui's better defensively at the 4 because he doesn't have to chase around these quicker wings and guards, right? So again, it's just a completely different circumstance. So to me, it's don't look at it on the surface level of just Rui look at it for the overall impact. The better catch and shoot player for his career. He's still a guy that can put the ball on the deck, knock down the mid-range, get to the basket, right? He's a guy that still has a lot of these same offensive attributes that Rui has, but he has the defensive pedigree that Rui doesn't. So you're trying to swap them because it just makes more sense. You don't have like Cam Johnson is same thing with like a Jeremy Grant is essentially a Rui and Vando married, right? If we could put that together, Lakers would be one of the best teams, right? Because it's like Rui's so good offensively, Vando is so elite defensively, but both are terrible at the other side of things. Right? So it's like, can you find that marriage piece? Well, that's why the Lakers are looking at a Jeremy Grant. That's why they're looking at a Cam Johnson. Guys that can defend multiple positions, give you the defense, maybe not to the elite level of which, a Jared Vanderbilt is, maybe not as good offensively as like a Rui Hachimura is, but instead of having a 10 offensively and a 10 defensively, but a 4 offensively and a 4 defensively, if you have a 7 offensively and a 7 defensively, it's just better. It's the better balance for the Lakers. So hope that kind of clarifies some stuff for you. As always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? What do you think about Rui versus a Cam Johnson? Again, I mean, their stats are very similar. Hey, I mean, Rui's coming off of like a 42%. Like career-wise, Cam Johnson's been the better player. But you look at just like the last like year and a half, they are very similar. Rui's actually been slightly better. But again, it's the defense. So again, I hope that clarifies some stuff for you. Kind of gives you an idea of why the Lakers are looking to add a guy like that. So you hopefully have a better understanding for those that do. I'm sure many of you are probably watching this going, I know that, but not everybody does. That's why I'm here. I'm here to try to inform and help people understand, right? So anyway, again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, do you think Cam Johnson's the right choice? Do you think he's not? Would you rather have Jeremy Grant? I'd rather have Jeremy Grant, but we'll see how this plays out. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.